Well, it's blurry as hell. What is going on, guys? Berlin Kater here, and today I'm with my dad. It's very blurry, and we're going to be talking about our UFC fighters. So, that's the count.
Hi, I'm his dad.
Yeah, you can all see it.
Who's your favorite fighter, Braylon?
George St. Pierre.
That's Daddy's favorite fighter, too.
My second.
And George is coming back, and he's fighting Michael Bisping.
Michael Bisping.
Who's a good fighter.
But I think George is going to whoop his ass.
But George is going to whoop his ass.
Yeah.
And next weekend, we have a big UFC.
With his Cormier.
Chris Weidman is fighting Gay Guy Mustafi.
Gay Guy Mustafi. And Daniel Cormier is fighting Anthony Humble Johnson.
Humble Johnson. That is going to be a good fight. I'm going to take Rumble.
I'm taking Cormier.
I think Rumble's going to get a surprise victory with a knockout.
And I'm taking Gegard Mousasi to beat Weidman.
And I'm going the opposite.
And I'm going to take pizza.
Yeah. Mama's going to have pizza. Mama's going to cook us pizza.
Alright, so our second fighter. 3, 2, 1, Rory McDonald. Who's yours?
Rory McDonald. And number 3, I put the Diaz brothers kind of tied.
Number 3, Conor McGregor.
Number 4 would be Conor McGregor.
Number 4 for me would be Junior Dos Santos.
Number 5 would be Junior for me.
Number 5 for me would be Nate Nick.
Number 6.
Number 6 for me would be Dominic Cruz.
Mine's Max Holloway.
Well, okay, replace that. Dominic Cruz is like, wait, what were we on? 5th or 6th? 6th. Max Holloway is my 6th, and Dominic Cruz my 7th. My 9th, Demetrius.
7th, we missed 8. So 8 for me. I would have
8 for me, Demetrius.
I'm not really a
Demetrius Johnson
fan. I respect Demetrius Johnson, the fighter that he is, but I'm not really a fan.
I'm just gonna drink him up.
I like Dotson.
So do I. Dotson's like my 8th or 9th.
I'd have to put Weidman maybe number 8 for me because I like Chris Weidman. I think he's a good fighter.
Number 8, Dotson. Number 9.
Number 9.
Gegard Mousasi.
I'm not a fan of his, so 8 or 9, I don't know. If we're going all time, I'm gonna have to. I keep forgetting about one of my favorite fighters of all time, which is Chuck Liddell.
Oh yeah.
That's one of my
favorite
10th,
fighters. Rampage.
I love Rampage. Rampage should be number 8 for me then.
Yeah, lots of it. Yeah, just number 8. And my 11th. Well, let's just do Rampage as 10th. We're just naming.
Number 10. No, I'm just going top 10 fighters.
My 11th is Chuck.
I think I'm gonna go with Bisping up there for me too. I like Michael Bisping.
My 12th, Dan Henderson.
I don't like Henderson.
Fuck
I never
you.
after what he did. I know Bisping deserved an extra shot in the head, but what he did was that could have been career-ending. So ever since he did that, I don't like him.
I'm pretty
BJ
sure
Penn is up there for Daddy too. Daddy
13
likes
is. Yeah, BJ Penn.
I like BJ. That's a tough one.
I'm pretty sure 14th. I like Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Edgar's in there for Daddy too. I like Frankie.
15th, I do.
Frankie baby.
I'd go.
I don't know. I
like Chan Sung Jung.
I don't really like it.
I
like the Korean Zombie.
Yeah, I said Chan Sung Jung. Yeah. Our 16th will be.
I'll go Dillashaw.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't really have that many favorite fighters. I don't like that many guys.
My 17th?
I don't have a 17th.
I
don't like any of them.
My 17th is Cody Fartman.
Cody Garbrandt?
Yeah, Cody Fartman.
Damn that guy.
Well, I don't really like him.
I don't like Cody Garbrandt.
Alright, let's just put him at my hundreds then. Oh.
Not a Cody Garbrandt fan.
Yeah. So now we're gonna talk about some UFC.
I hate Yoel Romero. Anybody caught on steroids, me and Braylon can't stand them.
I don't
like roid junkies. If you can't fight without using roids, you shouldn't be fighting.
We hate Brock Lesnar the most.
Then that means you're a pussy.
We hate Brock Lesnar.
Is just a big pussy.
Yeah, he's just a big
Fuck Brock Lesnar.
Fuck. I don't like Mark Coleman either.
Mark Coleman's a steroid junkie. Him and his buddy Kevin Randleman, but God rest his soul, he died because of the roids. So, fuck steroids, no good for you.
Yeah.
If you can't fight without them, you should be in a different business.
And FCM Punk for taking steroids, for God's sakes. He took them.
Yeah, but he was direct. People have sued the WWE, Bray, because, people were given steroids by Vince McMahon so they could get bigger, and, the bigger they are, the better they,
It's just effed up.
What are you doing, Snow? Are you wanting to talk about the UFC too?
Dad,
Are you coming up here, Snowy?
Dad, I know who her favorite fighter is.
Oh.
I know who her favorite fighter is.
Who?
Joanna.
I like Joanna.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do. She is not an attractive woman. She's ugly.
But
she's a good fighter, and
I
I
think
like-
Caroline is attractive.
And I think her trash talking is pretty funny. I like her trash talk.
I think Caroline.
And I keep forgetting about a fighter I haven't said anything about yet. And that's Khabib.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think he's going to be an interesting fight eventually. I would love to see that being George's last fight instead of Conor, because I think George will just beat the shit out of Conor. It wouldn't even be a fair fight.
But how do you know? Maybe George does a surprise fifth fight. And
George has said he's doing 3 fights. That's it. He wants to retire from the sport in a decent way. So 3 to 4 fights. If, say, he fights Conor and whoops Conor's ass, then his last fight against Khabib.
Yeah. He said he wants to fight Nate too.
Because Khabib, I think Conor is going to try to stay away from fighting. Because I think Conor's smart enough to know that Khabib will beat his ass. Because I think Khabib is the most talented fighter in the UFC in years, other than George St. Pierre.
Let's talk about George right now.
Well, what do you want to know about George? What do you want to talk about George?
I don't really know that much stuff about him. You do.
I know a lot about George St. Pierre.
I know.
You know where he's from?
Montreal.
Yeah.
He speaks French.
You know what's his favorite hockey team?
Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
I don't like Montreal.
I don't like the
Canadiens.
Habs either. They can go fuck themselves. Leafs, baby, Leafs. Toronto, number 1.
Wait, who won the game last night?
The Leafs won last night. They beat Detroit
What was the score?
4-3.
Close game.
Yeah, close game. Leafs did well.
So, let's talk about Khabib. and Ferguson.
Khabib and Tony Ferguson, I think that fight's not going to be a good fight because I think Khabib is going to take him down. And
Khabib's just going to take him down.
I think the only fighter in the
Beat us.
UFC that would be a good fight for Khabib Nurmagomedov, and I think it'd be George St. Pierre, and it'd be a good, respected fight because both guys will not talk trash. Mm-hmm. They will be respectful of one another. Because didn't you see George walk up to him in one of those videos and shake his hand, and his dad said, "Oh, this is the guy my dad wants me to, it would be a great fight for me."
I think Khabib would even beat Bisping.
He could. He's a good sambo fighter and a good wrestler. Like, he'd be a tough fight for George and for
Bibbing.
Well, I don't think for Bisping. I think he's not going to go up that heavy of a weight division.
Maybe to catch right at like 184.
They're not going to do that, though.
Catch right at 180.
They're not going to do any catch
179?
weights for Khabib to fight Bisping. It's not a big enough fight to make it.
All right, let's just talk about Tyron Woodley. If Tyron Woodley fights
Tyron Woodley, I guess he's going to fight.
He said he wants to put his foot up Michael Bisping's ass.
Of course he does. He wants to try and get bigger paydays, but he's not going to get them after his last fight because he looked like a chump.
So did Stephen Thompson.
They both did. They both better come back better with their next fights because Damian Maia deserves a title shot.
So does Jorge Masvidal.
No, he doesn't. What? He beat Donald Cerrone and he deserves a title shot?
He got
Donald
into good
Cerrone.
ranks.
Yes, but Donald Cerrone, when he beats somebody bigger than Donald Cerrone, you could beat Donald Cerrone. Okay? Cerrone is not that good of a fighter. Plain and simple.
He got his ass beat by freaking Rafael.
Yes.
And then he moved up to welterweight.
And now Rafael's going
bitch.
welterweight, which I don't think is a smart move for him because I think he's too small for welterweight division.
Yeah.
And I think and according to reports, he's going to be fighting Carlos Condit. Condit said he feels like fighting again, not retiring, because he was planning on retiring.
Carlos Condit is a legend.
Yeah, Carlos Condit.
He gave George a good
He
fight.
gave George a good fight. He actually gave Nick a good fight, but Nick did get robbed in that fight. Nick and Nate are the two most robbed fighters in the history of the sport. Those guys come out every time they fight. They try their hardest, their best. Like, they are just two of the toughest guys in the history of UFC. And if people don't like them,
Fuck them.
you know.
I like the Diaz brothers. They're good fighters. So yeah, we're gonna end the episode
end this
here.
with GSP number 1.
Yep.
Fuck Michael Bisping.
This is #1 bullshit.
These